So no, the cashier, she says I can have them, but she wants me to know I have abandonment issues. Oh, gotta go. Hey, what's up, Scott? Welcome here with Imagination Creation Films, and today it is Friday, April 7th, 2023, and that means that it's time for the adventure to begin of a thing called live streams, which always end spectacularly and continuously in failure. Because that's what I do here. I put my failure forward so you can be entertained and my watch can ding rude while I chat. So, puppy cam. There we go. We have it. So yeah, it is a wonderful Friday, and ooh, look at that. Boop, boop. And it's like, hey, I'm Wilson. Howdy ho, neighbor. Yeah, it's a wonderful Friday, and it's starting to get warm in here, and I'm going to fix that in just one moment. It is literally a horrible day. I've had a splitting headache all day, really bad, really not fun. But I'm coping. I'm doing what I can do, and I figured, maybe a live stream. Maybe a live stream would make me feel just a wee bit better. And you know what? I haven't noticed it yet, but maybe I do feel a little bit better. I'm gonna blur that out here. I'm gonna turn down the heater real quick because why should we just sit here and suffer in heat and cause me to sweat, which I'm already feeling wonderful. But we have the doggo cam right down there. He's doing it. Why is it not focused on him? I literally focused it on him, and then it has changed. That is so rude, so rude. Everybody comes here for the puppy cam anyway, and makes it look like I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, because I didn't set it on continuous focus. Well, that's awesome. Right about there. Look right? I can't tell. It's so far away. It kind of looks like he's not in focus. Let me see. Let's see what I can get here by looking. Oh, there we go. Wow. When we look at a big monitor with big bold eyes, I can see. So, let's see. Y'all keep me apprised if any frames are dropping. So far, it looks to be okay. A few frames here and there. I adjusted it, and I can adjust it on the fly because I'm on OBS today. Gregory. Hello, Gregory. We have Tim Dost saying puppy cam. Yep. Danny, hello, Danny. Abandoned mint issues. Breath that smells of cigar? Not today. I don't normally enjoy cigars when I have a headache because it's hard to enjoy anything when you have a headache. And we're back. All right. Hey, what's up, Ollie? I have talked about Alabama white barbecue sauce nonstop since the other day. Just talking to people about it. No one's ever heard of this. No one has ever heard of it. They all look it up and they're like, huh. The last live before NAB. It is possible it is the last. I don't know. I might. It just depends on how stressed I get on Friday. Packing. I leave Saturday morning early. But I've been known to just use the live stream as like a stress reliever today. So it might be a live stream on Friday. Might not. Don't count on it. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But it might happen. Always set your subscription thing to alert for all, and then you'll know. Pollen is bad here today. Huge headache this morning. I don't think that's it. We've had pollen for the last. Atlanta pollen is hilarious. I've never seen yellow streams in the road before, but all that pine, the yellow pollen falls in the street and it rains and it's just this yellow river. We had pollen for the last month or so, but I mean, it has been nonstop rain for the last 3 days, which makes it a lot of fun for this little Dumaflachi which, yeah, I got to tighten that up there. Yeah, it's kind of fun. We can talk about that. We can talk about this, the monochromatic, the monocomodo chrome is what I'm calling it. I think they just call it monochrome Komodo. We could talk about lots of things. I would love to talk about some other things, but I just cannot. We could talk about lens cuffs some more. We can do that because I think a lot of people didn't quite understand the purpose of the lens cuff. And we can talk about that. But literally today, since there's no agenda, just literally, you guys just set the topic. You just like call it out down there. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about this. And it's kind of a free for all, kind of like every one of my live streams. I can't believe it's working, honestly. Everything. I'm gonna turn it down just a wee bit more because it already feels like it's dropping some frames. So let's take off another 500 kilobits. I mean, who needs that? Oh my gosh, look at that. See, and okay, I was holding off posting comments because I didn't realize there were so many comments. Greg says, heat and headache don't play well for me. No, they don't play well for anybody. And literally I had ice cream like an hour and a half ago to try to get my head down. There are literally millions of views on the stuff. Well, Ollie, just because that rain deflector, though, agreed. And Musty, hello, greetings from Germany. Nice name, by the way. So nobody's going to comment on Scott's green shorts that can easily be keyed out. They're not green. They're green. Well, they're kind of a fluorescent. They're tennis ball yellowish. But, Greg, I always laugh at that. People always say, oh, they're wearing a green shirt, or we could key it out. And I'm thinking, it's chroma key. Any solid color shirt, as long as it's not the color of skin, can be keyed out. I always crack up that people only use green for that. Anyway, I'm on a chic filet copycat sauce. Oh, that's actually pretty easy to do. That's a pretty easy sauce to do. And the Scott sauce, have you tried the Scott sauce yet, Ollie? Did you try it? I believe we had this conversation. And you need to try the Scott sauce because it's better than Chick-fil-A sauce. It is. I like Chick-fil-A sauce. It's very good, though. Good experience this week with the Tentacle Sync Track E recorders and GoPros rigged inside a car setup with time code. Inspired my wife watching American Pickers. Okay. Track E recorders and GoPros. Tell me how you're doing that, or are you just using... Oh, yeah, did GoPro just announce that? They did, didn't they? That you can do time code with the media mod, right? I think that's what it... Tell me more. Scott, you must address the rain deflector in the room. This guy? This little thing right here? This is it's a black garbage bag because it's been in and out of the rain for the last 2 days. It's been a lot of cool. This thing is really slick. I mean, a really, really intelligent design. I don't know how the best way to demonstrate it on here, just because it's not raining in here. Blame it on the rain. Blame it on the rain. When your friends don't. This is the little box here, the compressor. This is the meat and bones of the whole thing. And it is a small, lightweight, exceptionally powerful motor. It reminds me a lot of like a Dyson mini vacuum, which is probably some kind of inspiration in there. Use a high a high RPM motor and spin a deeper or a shallower pitched impeller so that you can force air rather than just using a fan. You're compressing the air, and it comes out through here and down, right down the glass. And this glass is some kind of coated. I don't remember what he called it. It's a coated glass. I mean, almost nothing sticks to it to begin with, but it forms this perfect laminar flow right down the filter here on the front. And I mean, it just whisks away Dwayne. It sure does. It's, oh, hello, Rob Eagle. And Rob Eagle, thank you, sir, for generously loaning this for, well, it ended up being a few days so far, but it'll be a little over a week that I get to borrow it for. It was supposed to be a lot longer, but, you know, FedEx, they're fantastic. So there's going to be a full review on it. I will I will have shot the review and everything to do with it, but the review probably won't come out until right after NAB because editing it is going to be a chore, and I have a bunch of stuff that I've got to shoot before I leave for NAB. So, yeah. The whole thing, so if you've seen we did this last time, and I cannot ever remember the name. And I'm not even going to say it this time. I'm just going to go look it up so that I can appear like I know what I'm talking about. Oh, quit it. The kick. There we go. So the design and it's basically a matte box, and there is there's a French flag on top here that you can install. It mounts with 15 millimeter rods that are mounted right here. You can't really see because it's all behind the garbage bag of wonder because, well, none of this stuff is, well, this is mine, but, you know, this stuff is not mine. I'm not going to treat it with disdain, but you can kind of see, maybe not. Maybe if I just go full screen here and take it out of focus, you cannot see, can you? There's a trash bag in the way. There you go. So you can see it's mounted with the standard 15 millimeter lightweight rod set. I've just got this all tucked in there. And the design of the back is identical to the kick. So it's a really, wow, there's a whole lot of comments. I'm sorry. It's a really easy build. So there's a plate that goes on the back that just, it goes on like toolless, and you just click, or screw. And it's expandable, so you can expand it out. There are 2 filter trays in here, and you could drop in a third just by whoop, just expand it out, and you get a third. Exceptionally well built. You'll see more of that in the review, but if you want to see what the back of it looks like, it's literally the Misfit kick. And then this goes on the front. And then it's powered by 24 volt batteries, so you need a high-end battery for that. It has 3 speeds, and the low speed is interesting because the low speed, I'm going to grab a battery and the cable real quick. The low speed works for allowing you to see the rain. So the rain hits it, and then it kind of streaks off, but it disappears. So you end up with a clean filter there, or clean lens filter, whatever. But you put this on the ground. You can see the rain actually on it. So medium speed, I found it's kind of like windshield wipers in your car. You don't turn on your windshield wipers on high all the time. You turn that on kind of at the last resort when you really, really need it. And that's kind of the way it is with this. Sorry. Let me pop this down a little bit here. You can kind of see. So it's green now. It's ready to go. We can set the speed here. There's 3 indicators. Just press the button. This is low, so you're gonna hear it. It is loud. You're not gonna record audio on it. It sounds like a Dyson vacuum. This is low speed. I'm gonna make sure nothing blows off the table here. Let's see. Turn it off. So that is low speed right there. It's not that loud on low. You can hear it, but audio guy is gonna be like, I'm going to medium. It is impressive, and then that's high. And I mean, high is no joke. See if I can. I'm pretty sure I can blow my hat off here. It has got a serious amount of air that comes out of this. It all just comes on really, really easily. Okay, so let me turn that back to low. And let me hit the all the comments out here. I think I just threw my spit everywhere. Ari says, hey, pal. Hey, Ari, how are you? Lens cuff. Greg says, would be fun if we got to talk about the worst practices during filmmaking. You mean like forgetting to hit record? Like the do's and don'ts. Please, for the love of God, don'ts. Let's talk NAB. Definitely want to talk NAB. Lots of PFT log don'ts. Yes. Let me put the puppy cam back up for the people who love the puppy cam. Which, I love the puppy cam. Greg says, hey, Tim, that's why it would be fun to talk about. Tennis balls are green, are they not? I don't know, are they? What's up, Joe? Film Tools Joe. It's that color that my eyes don't see very well. So between green and yellow, probably this color, that does look green, though. These are pretty yellow. They're fluorescent. Well, probably fluorescent green. But between green and yellow, that little shift in the middle, not the extremes, that's where my colorblind comes in. It's a lot of fun. If you want to see the rain deflector, it will be on the Film Tools booth. Ooh, very cool. Only if I remember to bring it. Yeah, no, I'll be bringing it. Let's see. Gregory, using a rod system to mount a follow focus motor, definitely a don't. Is it a rod system to mount? Yeah. Let's see here. Hello, film photo, Mustafa Murad. Well, hello, Mustafa. Totally agree. Okay, so what do I got to do here? I got to clear these things. Oh, there they are. Man, there's so many freaking comments. Camille. Hello, Camille. Greg says, I'm still 50% to 50. 50 on NA. Oh, you need to come visit. You should come visit and put your lens cuff at a couple of booths. Just walk around and say, hey, would you like to show this off? And they'll be like, cool. R5C is Netflix approved now, and some much needed firmware updates coming. So that is true. Yes, I'm in time for your red raffle. If I had a red raffle, believe me, I would be more than happy to give away a red. But I don't have one. Would like to take a fire hose to it. Not I tell you what, Ollie. I will use various strengths of garden hose, which is like a fire hydrant around here, and see. Well, we will test that because yesterday it was pouring down rain, and I'll tell you what, it was getting a workout, but it was working. It was working out. Yeah. R5C is so confusing, but I love it. Frustrating, yeah. If the R5C works for you, then sure. I have the R5 and I rarely, if ever, record video on it. Danny says, I didn't use the Technical Sync time bar app to jam timecode with the GoPros. I had the GoPros in cages and mounted a Sync E on each camera for wired sync in the GoPro mic adapter. Okay, so you're using audio. Got it. Okay. Got that. Hovercraft mode. Maybe. It would probably take a few. It would probably take a few to get. I mean, this is about concentrated high pressure air off of a simple 24-volt battery, and it runs up to 30 volts. I've got it on the. These are the Core Helix 29-volt batteries. That works really well. Yeah, it'd probably take a few to get the hovercraft out of that, but I mean, I'm game for it. It's not my A cam by any means. Great C cam. Yep. NAB Sony camera predictions. So I really feel like we're going to see like an FX6 Mark II. And I don't know. I feel like we're going to see that. But it might also be not yet. You know how those go. The NAB is like, well, we're not gonna push that out yet. Not yet. I have to look at all these. What's growing in the green room? Oh, back there. That is an IKEA plastic ficus tree because it requires absolutely no water or light in the back. Now we have a whole bunch of herbs growing out on the legal kind on the back porch, though. We're really working on that. R5C could be an A-cam. It's Netflix approved. It could be. Right tool, right job. Rain deflector, much more compact than the spinning glass disc we ran in the late 70s. Yes, it's also much quieter. But yes, the compactness is quite serious. And, you know, you don't have to mount. I've got it mounted on the, this is the Bright Tangerine Titan arm, which y'all don't make anymore, do you, Rob? That makes me sad. I like the Titan arm. I like that I can do that. There we go. I have it all loose because I've been swapping out cameras, shooting monochrome and not. But this little box, it can be mounted anywhere within, I don't know how many. It's like 50, 60 centimeters long, 2 feet of hose. So you can mount it down here, mount it up here. You can keep it compact. And this is water. It's not 100%. You can't submerge it clearly because that's the air intake and that's an air filter. But it can handle being rained on, but it shouldn't be poured on. So I think literally if you just like had some type of little cover over it, it would be more than fine in the spring showers, as they say. Joe sold me a Raptor. Joe rules. Joe is an extremely nice guy, and we love Joe around here. We also love Film Tools because Film Tools is cool. It's one of those places that I always visit and never have my van when I do. So maybe on my summer trip, maybe I will bring my van and then just go buy Film Tools and buy all the things that are too expensive to ship. I think that's why they named it the R5C. Otherwise, it would be the R5A, and it wouldn't be a very hard sell. Yes, I know A is for astrophotography. I think it's the R5C because it's the R5C. I told you we'd get Netflix approved. Let's see. It'd be an FX9 Mark II first. I think so, but I don't think that it has to be exclusive. I think they could do the 9 and the 6. But I do tend to agree that it'll probably be an FX9 Mark II, that there's more chances of that at NAB than the FX6 Mark II, but we'll see. NAB predictions, past time for Canon to refresh all cinema cameras to RF. I think it's going to happen. I think you're going to see probably a couple of cinema cameras at NAB. A couple. Any Blackmagic camera predictions? Yes, I believe they're going to come out with a line of 8Ks. I think they're going to come out with a non-pocket 8K, hopefully a cube 8K. As I said, body language told me it might actually be a cube. Be kind of interesting. Pretty sure they're going to have like an Ursa G3 4, I guess it would be G3? No, yeah, G3 with 8K. But I'm hoping that they revise that body style. Ugh. And who knows, they might introduce Resolve 19, although I really don't think they should. I really think 18, they've been on a year cycle, but, and they release the versions every year at NAB, so maybe 19. I just don't think, I mean, the way that they're doing it, and they're doing it really nicely, and I really appreciate them, applaud them for doing it, which is 18 did them just tons of versions upgrades. I mean, just keep going. Which is why I don't think it's necessary for them to have major revisions every year. Just keep going on the smaller revisions and just call them that. I would love to see a new color panel. We'll see. The ZV-E1 was unexpected. Only issue is overheating, I think. Yeah, the ZV-E1, here's my guess on that. If you're going to introduce a new sensor, and it's going to replace the A7S3's sensor, which means it's going to be more capable in every way possible, because that's what you would do with a new sensor. So what do you do with all of these thousands and thousands of sensors that you have slated for A7S3, FX3, and FX6? My guess, you realize that those are going to kind of slump down a little bit in sales. And so you've created a new product that's much cheaper, that you could slide the sensors in and still use them. That is my guess. Just thinking as a business would, that's what I would expect. Any concern on vibration with the rain deflector? No. So this box does not need to mount to the camera body at all. It can mount anywhere. But this turns at such a high RPM. There is no vibration at all on it. When it's running, you don't feel anything. Put on high, there is nothing. It is a completely balanced, there's literally no vibration at all coming out of that. Just the air movement that's going through it. And was it Dyson that you would rest the dime on or whatever, or back in the old days? It's like that. I feel quite confident you could. Let's see here. I gotta get that, just like that. See if I can do this here. Yes, I can. So we can turn that up. So this is just a little thing. So there's no vibration. It's rather, this is a little thing. It's kind of cool. It's hard to see, but it's very thin. It's a little thicker than a quarter. It's not quite rounded edges, but if it was vibrating, it would probably fall over. Greg says, I think they copied the R5 design for the ZV-E1. No. No, not at all. The ZVE1 is literally an A7S III minus a few features. Quite a few features, actually. Rob says, we make a 1 meter hose. Well, there you go. 1 meter is, well, that's pretty long, too. Look at Rex. He's like, strut back. He's voguing. That's what he's doing. He's Rex voguing. We've got the timer on. We're going to put the timer up. Ollie says, message retracted. Well, fine, Ollie. Didn't want to talk to you anyway. Oh, there's so many conversations that could show up here. Okay. I don't get the uproar from the A7S III users. It's 3 years old unless you just bought one. Well, I think that's probably it, Ollie, that it was so hard to get them forever that it feels like that it's not 3 years old. But yeah, it's a fine camera. I like my A7S III. Why would someone buy a 3-year-old camera from a company that updates their lineup so often? Because the sensor is a really good sensor. Like the ZVE1 is not. It's a 1 month old camera technically. The sensor is old, but that sensor is sold so much. There are so many. I have the same sensor in my astrophotography rig. It is an Astrocam camera that's it's cooled, but it's the same exact sensor. It's literally that Sony sensor, which is kind of funny because that sensor that's in this, I keep pointing to the Komodo like it's that sensor. It's not. It's over there. But the A7S III sensor is not a 12 megapixel sensor. It is pixel bend. It's a 4x bend sensor. So it's like a 48 megapixel sensor. So it's interesting what it actually is. The only decent sensor Sony has is that one for the A1, but the camera isn't friendly for video. I disagree on that, King. I think Sony makes a lot of good sensors. I think Sony makes so many good sensors that so many cameras are using them. Think about all the cameras out there that are using Sony sensors that are not Sony's. Let's see. Panasonic, Nikon. Who else is using Sony sensors? What is it? Not Kid Affinity, but who's the other? Zcam. Zcam. Don't they use Sony sensors in some of theirs? Granted, the Zcam Sony sensors are not the good Sony sensors, but you get what I'm saying. The A1, I really like the sensor on the A1, and I think it's okay for video. It's not awesome, but I think it's okay. I would say the A7S sensor is decent. I agree. I'd rather get a Monstro than getting that A1. I agree, unless you don't have Monstro dollars. If you don't have Monstro dollars, then the A1 is pretty good. Yeah, the A1 has a noise issue is the only thing. The R5C has a highlight issue in my brain, but yeah, that's just me. NAB Black Magic Design Ursa Hello Kitty Edition. Why not? It can't be worse. Agree, Scott. Let's see here. Nice. Dyson you got attached there. I did the same thing with my hair clippers. No, I don't have to clean up after a haircut. I have the Dyson, the little micro vac. Oh, I think it's in the studio, the edit bay. Rich says, cool dog. He is a cool dog. Kevin, what's up, Kevin? What did I miss? Well, we're just chatting about everything because I have a headache, and anything to just keep my mind off of any of it is wonderful. So we're just kind of chit-chatting about everything. Here's the monochrome. Had a ton of fun at Co-Production House Studios. Justin and Chris over there are phenomenal people, and I may be going back this week which is all the more reason why I've got to shoot all week. Monochrome did phenomenal. We had hatched it to a CC robot, and we had several DPs there, and we just kind of let everybody kind of do the thing, and it ended up better than I had hoped, because I didn't really have like subject planned. Just kind of let's kind of everybody put it through their paces, but then it kind of worked out for me on the subject. So yay, it'll be fun. Whoops. Reach says, "Hey Scott, happy Friday." Hello, Reach. "Hey, Mr. Balcom, how are you?" Johnny Brooks, been a while. It has been a while. How are you? "I believe the Canon sensors are more value for money, such as the C300 Mark III and a C70, or the R3 sensor." Depends. I think it's like I think it's subjective, really. It's hard to quantify. Where does they make their own? So they don't own the chip fab, but they design all of their sensors in-house and have them made by other people. They are not others' sensors. A lot of people want to. I think maybe the first ones were the very first. I don't know for a fact on those, so I can't speak one way or another. But I can tell you for a fact that Red designs their sensors, and yeah, very much so. I've been told by a contact at Sony that the medium format cameras from Hasselblad are starting to use Sony sensors. I like the A7R5 sensor. Interesting. Is Hasselblad the one that's owned by DJI? Is that, or am I getting them mixed up? I don't know which one it is. Speaking of DJI, we have the Inspire 3 coming. That will be here very, very soon, like the 13th, next week. Johnny says, "Sorry if you've covered this already, but can you explain monochrome to me? Completely new to it." Yes, I can. So this is a monochrome camera. I'm going to put this over here so it doesn't scratch the sensor because it's not mine. So it's kind of hard to see, but you can see directly the sensor on this. And the reason you can see the direct sensor on this one is because this is a full spectrum monochrome. Now, what does that mean exactly? So there's two main types of monochromes. There is monochrome that can see all light that the sensor can see. And then there is restricted monochrome, which would be having an OLPF on there, and it's a light filter. It basically says everything above this value of red and below this value of blue don't show to the sensor, and it uses it's a light block, and infrared is one of those. Do I have? I don't. Do I? I don't have. Daggum it! I wish I did. No, I don't. Well, I have several examples that you'll see on the review, but you have the OLPF in front. So if you have OLPF, you're not going to pick up infrared light. Infrared light does amazing things with the sun and also with extra lights here. It makes it more sensitive to red. So it's about a little over a stop more sensitive to begin with. Okay. Now, those are your two types of covers on the front, or lack thereof cover and a cover. Next, we go to the sensor itself. So a bare pattern sensor, which is what Red uses, and Sony and all of the others, except for Blackmagic, who uses on the Ursa 12K something else. Bear Pattern has, they have like gels in front of every single photo site that is basically a filter that says you only get red light, you only get green, you only get blue, you get green, you get red, and it's in a pattern. So then when the sensor, because the sensor is just a photo site, it's bazillions of millions of photo sites, and the photo site reads a value of light intensity. And in the case of reds, it's 16 bits of value, which I don't want to do the math on, but it's a lot more than an 8-bit would be 256 value, 256 shades of light. So black to white being in 256. 10-bit would be 1024. Then there's 12 bits, 65,000, I think, and then it jumps to millions. It's wild, but it's various levels. So it can detect on a color sensor. It can detect. Let's just use 8-bit. It's not 8-bit. 256 shades of light through a red filter, through a green filter, through a blue filter. And then the way a Bear Pattern works is it uses green as luminance because red and blue overlap into green. And so you can get your red, most reds, except for a hard edge left red color, has green in it. And the same with the blue. So you can use green as your luminance value. So there's twice as many greens as there are reds and blues in a Bear Pattern sensor. And it is using the red, the green, and the blue. It's using the green photo site for also luminance for the red and for the blues to help balance out everything. So you get this huge amount of data, and it calculates each pixel. So it will calculate how much red it got here and how much blue, and with a complex pattern, it could actually determine on the photo site with red how much blue is actually in that one as well. So it can actually assign a value there for red, green, and blue for each one of those. That's a long thing into Bear Pattern. What monochrome does, it's more than just adjusting and desaturating and taking your channel mixer down to 33% on everything and making it's equal. They take the dye, the gel off of every photo site. So there's just raw photo sites collecting the information. And if you don't put an OLPF in there, then every single pixel or photo site equals an exact pixel without having to do much processing really at all. There's no processing, so to speak. So you end up with far, far, far less noise, number one, because now you have an extremely efficient set of photo sites because they have nothing blocking. And there's no averaging. So if you get noise on a pixel, say this red one next to the green and the green here, and that noise is going to be averaged out into these other pixels in the math that it does to assign the value. I hope I'm getting all this right. I'm sure Graham will drop by and go, not exactly, but close enough. On monochrome, that doesn't exist. So it gets the pure value. Color temperature doesn't matter. Well, it kind of does, but and the image is astonishingly clear. So we were playing with it. We were really low light on the volume stage last week or this week, and I got to turn off this heater. I'm just burning up here. The noise, we turned it up to 12,800 ISO. And although there was some noise visible, it is tiny. It's tiny and it's hardly noticeable. It's so almost film grainish of noise, which is kind of desirable. But it was staggering. We were laughing. I think I do have. Let's see. there's that. Let's see. Let me send this over. I can send this. This I can share, maybe, if it wants me to. All right, where's this? Oh, where's my, there it is. Okay, so we'll take this, we'll plug it in here, and immediately my iPad will go, oh, you want to use it as a secondary monitor. No, I don't. Is this hooked up? Yes, it is. And then we're going to plug this in right there. And then no, I don't want it to be that way. Oh, I hit it just right this time. Mirror display set. Thank you. Okay, so we can go here. And that's, oh, wow, y'all were seeing my screen. That's awesome. Let's not do that in the future. So there's, God, that looks horrible. That is not the image. That is not quite what, well, it doesn't even fit in that. Oh, okay. That's not quite what we had there. That image got messed up here, but that is a black and white image from the monochrome. That is not a monochrome camera there. That is actually just a black Komodo. All right, let's turn that back on, and let's choose a different camera this time. Okay, well, I got warm. So hopefully that answers that, Johnny. The camera, I mean, Hasselblad is DJI. Yeah, so I do not believe those are Sony's at all. Yeah, the DJI, DJI bought them for theirs. Yes, Hasselblad is owned by DJI. Scott, you will now be appearing in the next, thank you for underlining that, because I was like, who are you talking about? Okay, I probably will, but yeah, good luck. I'm assuming that's about the sensors. Good luck proving me wrong on that one. DJI has taken over. I don't think they're taking over, but they're doing really well. Scott, do you think NAB will be full? Like, do you need to camp out just to be one of the first to go? Oh, no. Well, I mean, everybody camps out. The lines are staggering to get into NAB. It's kind of funny. What all did y'all see? I mean, it's thousands of people that are all in line to get in there. But I mean, as soon as the doors open, I mean, it takes like 5 minutes for everybody to go through, and then it's just a constant stream of people coming in. It's going to be fine. I mean, I went, and I think the peak year, and it was busy, but it's not like you got to camp out, not at all. Assuming the Inspire 3 will be in line with the Ronin 4D. I'm assuming it's going to be way more than in line. Let's see, clear. I don't see where Red is looking for with the Komodo monochrome. I don't think it's destined. Well, yeah, so no, it's not a big seller. No, not at all. In fact, they don't make production runs of them. They literally have to go in and break is the wrong term, but they have to go in and modify a built sensor just to do this. So it takes some effort to do, and it's a manual effort. So they're all built to order, and they are $7,500 if I remember correctly, which quite honestly, I believe is the least expensive black and white cinema camera on the market. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Is there another black and white, a true black and white digital cinema camera out there for less than $7,500? I can't think of one, but maybe there is. Samuel, it's not for everyone. It's literally not for everyone. In fact, it's for a few. But in a market of tens of thousands of people competing for commercials and things, it allows you a way to stand out just a little bit different. It's artsy. It's also retro. There's a lot of reasons why you would want black and white and pure black and white and not desaturation, which is not quite the same. You'll see when I put them side by side with the mono here and the color here desaturated, you can tell. And it's funny too. The Andrew, the DP, one of the DPs that was there this week, he said as soon as I put it up on the screen, he knew instantly which one was black and white. It was no question in his mind, and he loves it. He was enjoying it way more than he thought he would. I think it was a lot of fun. We all had a great time. It's a cool camera. I can see a monochrome in my life now. I just can't see it before I get V-RAPTOR though. It's I need V-RAPTOR in my life before monochrome, but I can definitely see it's fun in monochrome. And in fact, I will be taking if anybody's at NAB and wants to see the monochrome, I will be taking it to NAB. Thank you, Jerry, for letting me do so. And I will be shooting all of my NAB stuff. I'll be shooting a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it with the monochrome. Because has anyone done NAB in monochrome yet? I don't think so. So we will see. Danny says, OLPF is one thing, blocking ultraviolet, but it's also IR. It's both sides. How far do these monochrome sensors reach down in infrared? A lot. I really wish I would have exported out some of those images. They're all on my computer in there, on the editing machine, and I did not export a single one. I showed them to my wife, and I was like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? But the infrared stuff, well, no, okay. Let me set this one. This is not much of one, because it is literally a photo of me. It's a photo. Oh, there it is. It's a photo of me taking a photo of the camera, taking video, which is stupid. But, okay, stop doing that. You're making me angry. You're making me angry. Okay, so there's that. Let's pull that up. And that didn't work quite well at all. So let's turn that off and pull that up. So it's so weird that I can't go full screen on that. So you can see, what can we see in this image here? So I'm shooting there at 40 FPS. I have a 180 degree shutter. I also have my ND all the way closed. At I think 13 stops or 11 stops, whatever the breakthrough is. I learned a valuable lesson. Look at the trees. The trees they're magnificent. They really are. And creepy and weird and magnificent and all of the above. Let's see here. Turn that on. Turn that on. Okay. So the infrared stuff, it also is kind of interesting on skin. It's not something you want to do all the time, but it definitely it plays on skin really interestingly. It has a lot of infrared that it can do, and it's rather funny because I have the infrared filter is not there. It's not there. Where's the infrared filter? Oh, I put it in my filter bag. You take the infrared filter and you put it on the monochrome, which with this infrared filter is a 760 and above for infrared only. So it blocks everything below. You put that on the monochrome and you get that screen that you see there. You put it on color and it knocks it way down, like way down. I would have had to have been shooting with no ND at a T1.5 at probably 3200 or 6400 ISO to get the infrared out of that, because you're having to compensate for the OLPF blocking everything. So full spectrum color Komodo, which I have reviewed and haven't released yet, which I need to do, it does some interesting things. It's wild. What was I going to say? I wanted to make sure I finished my point for you. I was going to say something else, and now I've lost it. It was something about the lesson that I learned was that almost every ND that I own is IR blocking. And boy, was that a shock when I first popped on a couple of the IR NDs on there. It didn't even click about IR ND. I put them on there, I was like, picture's gone. Like, what? I was like, oh. So I had to find some, I hope that cleared. Danny, let me know if you're still there, because I was clicking clear, but it had the pop-up window below it, and I think under the clear was block. So I hope I did not block you, Danny. Please tell me I didn't. Happy Friday, Frank. Hello, Frank. Do you think we will see a Ronin 2, lighter, smaller? Can't decide between the Ronin or the movie. We are destined to see a new Ronin. My thoughts are NAB for Inspire 3. Kind of rhymes. You see what I did there? And then maybe Ronin 3 at Cine Gear. I'm guessing that, because everything is due on the Pro line of everything, and so DJI would sweep the floor with that. What's going on, Scott? Hello, Edison. You think anamorphic is getting oversaturated, overhyped at the moment? Yes and no. I think it's cool. I definitely love the mass entry of affordable anamorphics. Anamorphics have always been a tool that can be considered, but not necessarily for everything. And the reason I don't think it's overhyped or saturated is that it still has to fit. And if a brand only has $50,000 to spend and they really have a product that would gain from anamorphic, whereas before that $50,000 budget is not going to get them the ad with anamorphic because the costs were so high. Now with very small, inexpensive cameras and inexpensive anamorphic lenses, you can pull that off for 50. I think that is good, which means that brands that could use anamorphic can now use anamorphic. Then he says, "Are you getting your investment paid back on that dog?" He costs a lot. He definitely costs a lot, but he is worth every penny that we spend. But he's also an excellent vacuum cleaner. His role is to get he's the pre-rinse cycle for the dishwasher. So he makes sure every plate is perfectly clean. No baked on, all that baked on lasagna. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that stuff. No big deal at all. The but he eats a lot of food. Let's see here. OLPF is a bit of a misnomer if it acts as a high-pass filter that would block infrared. It's a blank low-pass filter, but almost all of them are blocking infrared because they don't want infrared on their sensors because it makes it muddy, like a black magic. The total brightness of the trees is characteristic of infrared. Yes, because they reflect all of that infrared back. I edit. Good evening. Happy Friday. What they were calling a hot mirror filter. A hot mirror is a pure infrared only, if I'm correct. I believe it is. Hot mirror blocks infrared. UV filters block UV. But OLPFs they're a stacked set of filters, so they're going to have anti-aliasing filters in there. They're going to have infrared IR filters in there. They may not have UV. Well, no. Well, hold on. No, a low pass filter is an infrared filter. A low pass means I allow everything lower than the value to pass. So that is what what does the O stand for? I always forget it right when I want to say it. OLPF, low pass filter. Oh, optical low pass filter. There we go. I don't know if anybody said that or not because my thing's not catching up here. But optical low pass filter would be an IR blocker. They wouldn't need to block UV because there's not too terribly much on sensors. There's Jared. Hello, sir. Optical. Yeah, literally every time I go to say OLPF, I lose the word optical. I know what it does. What are your thoughts on Red Connect? Oh, that's the 8K streaming, right? It's got to be, yes, that's the 8K Red Connect. The fiber optic. Yeah, that. I mean, it's cool. I have zero experience with it. Zero desires to play with it. For one reason, I got a prayer of streaming 8K from this place. I can't even stream 4K. 1080 is all I get. I'm going to refresh that if you want to. If you want to get me a cigar, I think I can probably tolerate one, since I seem to be having a good time at the moment. So yeah, the Red Connect is probably extremely cool for a lot of things. My guess would be sports. Sports would be a natural for that. Sports broadcasting, because they could now, with fiber cables, get you direct 8K out and bring it to your switcher and then out over the airways, which it wouldn't be airways. But I mean, in my case, I don't have any need to do anything live like that. So it doesn't do anything to me, but I think it's probably pretty darn cool for networks and such not networks so much, but anybody who needs 8K footage live, yeah, that's almost certainly why it was created. I'm sure it was. Anamorphics. Exactly how did Panavision achieve variable aspect anamorphics? Got their start on the distribution side when exhibitors were faced with projecting different studios. I don't have an answer for that, Eddie. I don't know. How did Panavision achieve variable aspect anamorphics? I don't know. Someone in the audience here probably has a much better idea on that. I don't know. Jared says low pass doesn't always mean color IR. It usually doesn't. It often means cutting off frequency, not color, anti-aliasing. Interesting. Okay. That actually makes a whole lot more sense in the brain. Okay. There we go. Someone who knows way more than I do about such things. In the case of monochrome, though, the OLPF in there is most certainly blocking a lot of IR. Right? Am I wrong? I feel like, that's what full spectrum. So the aliasing, interesting. Huh. I probably need to do some deeper dives into the anti-aliasing filters. Because the way I had read, and maybe this is a way and it's not the way that everybody else does it, but the way I had read anti-aliasing filters was it was a filter that did some vertical and some horizontal filtering that would basically edge out the moire that was occurring, which I'll take that one. I can't do that one. You can vent me and lighter and cutter me. I'm gonna move this because it doesn't belong to me. Because I don't want this sucking in any cigar fumes. I'm sorry, prop fumes. Because I care. And then I'm going to put monochrome back over here because I care. And then we go zip back down. Okay. Come on, Starlink. Scott needs to stream 8K. I would love it. Later. Oh, got a cutter. Cool. Thank you. I would love to stream 4K. I wonder if I could do that. I don't think I can change resolution on the fly, though. I can only change, which, knock on wood, I probably shouldn't say anything. I've got a pretty high bit rate for here, and it's doing quite well, which is good. I wonder if I could. No. Well, it wouldn't do any good. I can't use the ATEM. It's only 1080. I'd have to upgrade to the massive ATEM. Nobody needs 8K for distribution except maybe digital IMAX. I don't agree on that. I think there are definitely reasons why 8K is viable in motion picture. 8K at home, we could probably get close to an agreement there. I think 8K at home is probably a struggle. Although you can see the difference when you back up away from it, and unless you have a giant screen. I have a 155-inch screen, and I can just tell the difference between 4K and 2K on that based upon where I'm sitting. So, 8K would be tough. But when it comes to, big theater screens, way smaller than IMAX, I think 8K would show up. Beyond Nick. Hello, Beyond Nick. Hey, are you going to NAB, Nick, or are you just going to Cine Gear? 8K is simply beyond human biology for expedition applications. Well, I don't know what the last part of that means, Danny. Not expedition. Exhibition applications. Now it makes sense. When you said expedition applications, I'm like, what in the world does that mean? I'm missing something. Sounds really cool, expedition applications. Exhibition applications. No. For exhibition, I mean, for like for example, at a massive concert, no, I don't think they don't even need 4K at a concert. You know, a big rock concert or any kind of anything that they're going to have tons of screens up there. No, they don't need 4K or even 1080. I mean, a lot of those were 720 panels, or those giant LED walls that they were doing. So in those cases, no, you don't need them. For home, no, you don't need them. For movie, yeah, I think so. And it would also be really nice if 8K in the theater with like HDR was so pricey that it excluded most people from being able to obtain it for their homes, which would give people a reason to go to the theater, which I love. I love reasons for people to go to the theater because there are just some things that have to be enjoyed in the theater. You've been a very bad prop. You must be destroyed. Okay, clear. Oh, there we go. So many comments. Okay. Danny from Samuel says, I believe when television was born, Panavision invented anamorphics to get a new distinctive look to get back people to the cinema. I don't know. Yeah. It's around that time, but yeah, I think that's probably right, Samuel. I'd love to do some of those like explainer type videos. I've never done one. But that would probably be a fun one to do. I think someone's done it actually. AK is not beyond marketing talking points in consumer electronics. Beyond says, just got an 8K 85 inch and I was surprised how much of a difference it makes. From what distance? Where can you tell the difference? If you had someone else A/B switch between 4K and 8K, where can you see the difference? I'd be interested in that. You can add IR cut to an OLPF, but an OLPF is almost always designed to avoid moire from high frequencies. Think more like a audio crossover, high and low frequencies instead of anything to do with IR. Well, now I'm going to have to go down a rabbit hole because I never attributed it that way. And now I need to know more. I'm going to have to do some research. There are two pieces of glass in our cameras, sensor cover glass and the OLPF. In the full spectrum monochrome, the OLPF is just a normal piece of glass. Right, okay. But in the regular monochrome, non-full spectrum, it would also have the OLPF. Got it, okay. I may head out to NAB, but still waiting on confirmation on shoot dates. Understood. Work is always good. Yeah. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I mean, either way, Nick, if if you can get a job today, yeah, you should definitely take a job today. 8K is the sweet spot. I think in the grand scheme of things, I think that's correct. I think we're going to end up with 16K projection at some point. And I think 8K will be the sweet spot at that point. But I think we're quite a ways from that. Who knows? It'll probably be not. What I'm afraid of, I don't want AI interpolated upresing. I don't want that to be the thing. I want life captured in high resolution optically and through the sensor. And if they want to take it beyond that, then that's fine. But I want that optical, that natural quality. predates most television. Anamorphic cinema was a response to TV and motion picture production. Use of anamorphic exploded in the 1950s. Each studio developed incompatible. Yeah, I remember the really, really wide, the CinemaScope, there's some really, really wide. There is a explainer video out there. I forget which one I've watched, but there definitely is an explainer video that talks about anamorphics and how they almost wrap around. For me, I'd take good HDR over 8K. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I didn't mean to knock my cherry off there. I would 4K HDR to me would be way better than 8K SDR. Absolutely. And I'm interested to see where we go with HDR. Agreed, Ali. 12K is a big peach, not that sweet. Beyond says, for me, I could tell about 5 to 8 feet. But I'd say for most, it would be tangible from 4 feet. That says a lot, though, Nick, because how many people are going to sit 5 to 8 feet away from an 85-inch TV? I sit... Yeah, 8 feet maybe. I sit about 17 feet away from my 155, and when this studio was a theater, we sat 27 feet away from this wall. This wall goes all the way this way. It's 20 feet wide, and it was an 18-foot wide screen. And that felt amazing, actually. It felt like a theater. Everything about it felt like a theater. Even the sound in the room is incredible. Screen size divided by 4 equals distance in feet, where you will have optimal viewing distance. Okay. Yeah. I'll buy that. 16K projection. No, at some point, the compression artifacts and distribution costs will overtake the resolution race. Let's see about that. Let's see. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't agree. Compression artifacts. So, I mean, there's a choice in compression, number one. How much compression? Do I even run compression? And before anyone says, oh my God, do you know how much data that would be to capture 16K raw uncompressed? Yeah, that's easy to calculate. And it is a ton. It is an absolute mind-blowing amount. But we're kind of there today. We have storage that can capture that and do it no problem at all. It's big, but it can be done. So compression at that point, I mean, if you use a good compression, I mean, there's lossless compression that you can apply that probably cut that in half at least. And then you can go to slightly lossy compression. I don't think compression artifacts are going to be an issue at all. Distribution costs, yeah, probably would be something. But then again, think about this, Danny. We're getting not me, but cool people are getting 5 and 10 gigabit Ethernet or internet at their houses. And you know what are the speeds of the backbone now of the internet? It's I mean, I know what they were back in 1997, and they were mind-boggling back then. I mean, they're way above terabits, way. Well, I wonder what that is. Let's see. Internet backbone speed. I want to know what they're using now. That is not it. That's not it. That's a lie. That's not true. They're saying 800 gigabits. Bull. Back in we had OC3s back in 2000. I mean, that's OC3 is 155. Let's see. So OC3 was megabits, wasn't it? Maybe so. No, I've seen some really fast speeds. 46 terabits. There we go. 46 terabits a second that was in 2022. That's the fastest internet connection that they have out there. Oop. Got it cleared. Wow, there's so many comments. I think the next step after 8K is 60. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't see. I see 12K as the we can do it too kind of thing, but it doesn't make any sense not to go to 16K. 8K viewing, yes, but I'll happily take as much res while shooting. Yes, yeah. If I am projecting at 8K, I would be much happier with 16K. Media Division on YouTube did a whole 2-part anamorphic video in which they nailed the history. Not a bad way to spend 45 minutes. Yeah, I could dig history documentaries like that. Maybe like AI, we should have big players sign a document to pause resolution. Ollie, then no one's going to sign that. I want a CPU that can play back 16K smoothly and render 3D comps real time. Now that's a CPU. But I wonder, would quantum computing, what effects could that have on resolution? I wonder. Right now, quantum computing is completely untouchable for any of this stuff. But it would be interesting. Still comfortable at 8 feet, 85 inch. Yep. Bring back smell-o-vision. It was the I think smell-o-vision is now smell-o-vision. So they did bring it back, Danny. They brought it back in. God, I say it was like the early 2000s. There was a company, and I think it was Japan, that was making kind of like a laser disc that had a smell disc that went in it, and in certain parts during the movie, it would burn part of the smell disc or something like that to put the smell out there. God, what was that? I remember seeing it on whatever that Discovery Channel show was, the Amazing Future or whatever. We are wasting too much time on the far edge of diminishing returns of resolution. I agree with that, Danny. Right now, I want dynamic range. I want dynamic range way more than I want anything over 8K. Just start giving me dynamic range. I'll totally take that. Jared says, compression usually works better and more efficient with more resolution, and I don't think there is a resolution race anymore. I don't think anyone really argues about resolution anymore. Yeah? Oops. Click off of there. Clear. There we go. Meg, every time I think there's no comments there. Distribution costs. Yeah, OC3 was 155 megabits, so it's definitely gotten faster. IE backbone capacity. I know guys who have terabit connections. Nice. They are mirroring all the world's financial transactions for credit cards. Again, diminishing returns on video. True. I mean, the cost of that right now is that's not even close to reality because people aren't going to pay for that. They're not going to spend, $600 or $700 to go see a 16K movie per ticket, because that's what the cost would be to recoup the cost of the connection speed. But if you just delivered, instead of downloading them, they just delivered the high-speed storage, you could get there closer. But then you're back to distribution that way, which gets into all kinds of other fun things. 6 or 8K now is a good spot for capture and the flexibility that it gives you in terms of image acquisition and oversampling. It's true. Retract. Delivery and exhibition of 8K will happen when customers want to pay for. Okay, well that. Doesn't Japan? Don't they have 8K? I swear they stream in 8K now, don't they? But Japan definitely has a much better internet infrastructure. A 5-minute ProRes 422 HQ 16K file would be like 60 or 80 gigabytes. Yeah, that's a lot. I'm interested in 8K origination for 4K distribution. I can't imagine I'll ever desire a camera beyond 8K. I kind of agree with you there, Danny. I mean, right now and for the foreseeable future, in my brain, 8K is a place that I would be completely happy with no questions or qualms. Delivery in 4K, I would like to deliver in 8K to YouTube, but I mean, YouTube, every chance they get, are taking things down a notch, making it less available, decreasing the bandwidth or the bit rate for that stuff. So I kind of agree with you there. 8K origination, and we focus on HDR and sound. Then we have something truly cool again. And besides, don't we have to, by law, bring back 3D again after 8K? I feel like we have to bring 3D back for another try after 8K before we get to 16K. Let's see. Yep, Danny, exactly. Shoot 8K, deliver 4K. Japan is 8K. Okay. That's what I thought. I swear, I remember seeing like the Ikegami cameras, and they're all doing 8K, and Red had, we all did 4K, but now you can do 8K. So yeah, I was sitting there. You'd go Intel over AMD Threadripper? Must be a missing comment in there. I feel like dynamic range and frame rates are the things that excite me the most. I'm not a frame rate guy. And that's going to be a hard sell for me, Nick, except for experiences. Now, I think probably Danny would agree with this, and probably everyone else would agree with this, like right now. And I think it goes with his exhibition wording. 16K on an experience and very high dynamic range and very high frame rates on an experience visual would make sense way before any kind of 2D delivery, like a ride, a sensory ride. Because I mean, if you're going to get 120 frames per second, even 8K, I mean 16K, you're going to buy it. Your eyeballs are going to buy the image. There's not going to be any way to avoid that, and that would make the experience more. 7950X will be your best. It's the best compromise for video and rendering. It's going to take a lot to get consumers excited about new cameras in the coming years. We're reaching that saturation. It's true. I think the saturation point that we're having, Ollie, is that your phone does what most consumers, I don't consider us consumers in the general sense. Now, we're camera consumers in the professional realm and even semi-professional realm, but we're not consumers. And I think, iPhone shooting 4K and Samsung shooting 8K and probably the iPhone 15 shooting 8K and, all of that, the consumer that would want 8K is probably going to be happy with an iPhone or a Samsung shooting 8K. So I think it's, I think it is going to be tough, 8K for consumers. But then again, here we are, 4K televisions cost nothing now. I mean, nothing. 8Ks are pretty expensive, but 8Ks are where 4Ks were 3 years ago. I mean, I've seen 4Ks now cheaper than the HDs were when 4K was coming out. It is beyond funny. I think the main advancements will be AI related. Auto reframe was pretty cool. Yeah, but I get very, very scared about. I get very, very scared about AI. Not literally scared, and not literally scared about AI. But I don't. Here's where I go. Right now, AI is good enough to produce images that fool most people. Which, we talked about this, I think, a week ago. We're quickly reaching the point where no court system in the world is going to be able to allow video or photo as evidence because there's no way to prove that it's not AI. And it's going to happen. And that's what bothers me. Jared, oh God, 3D. I waited on the GTX 3090 to see what the 4090 would do. Now I'm thinking for the 5090, maybe the 6090. They don't seem to be making huge advancements there. There's a 20-year moratorium between each futile attempt at 3D. Yeah, but Moore's Law, Danny, we've got to bring back, Moore's Law has got to bring that down 3D in 10 years. So, yeah, that's timing just perfect. 3D. With the exception of Avatar and some experience films, I didn't like 3D at all. I just didn't like it. I was more meaning acquisition for anyway. So, yeah. Totally on board with you there, Nick. Yeah. I mean, we already have 8K 120, which is mind-bogglingly cool with V-RAPTOR. I mean, from there, it's just going to get more fun. Is the only way to describe it. It's more fun. It's just 4090 is a hell of a car. Everything I've read, the 4090 is not a heck of a lot more than the 3090 as far as capability, like 20 to 30% is what they're saying. I apologize for contributing to the resolution discussion, which I'm not really interested in. Danny, this is an open forum today. We don't have a guest on, so it's just, whatever anybody wants to chat about. I'm totally good with it. I enjoy considering other people's opinions and sometimes blowing my opinion out of the water. So, no, absolutely empowered to do so, Danny. Next resolution of filmmaking will be software-based versus hardware, AI-assisted devices, real-time shooting, editing, delivering, bridging the gap between broadcasting and narrative. We talked a lot, completely different subject. We talked a lot at the studio this week about how Nope was shot, and Nope was shot using film and digital using a mirror setup to capture the skies. And ever since we were talking about that, I cannot stop thinking about building a rig to do that. I know there's plenty of them out there that are available to do. I want to build one and see if I can do that. because that is a cool use of IR, but also monochrome and color, and it's just cool to begin with. I think that would be kind of cool. Kind of what Atomos is doing with their. Oh, y'all didn't see that. The ash just fell on my table. Like I said, that's why I moved. That's why I moved all the not my stuff. Atomos is doing with their Connect platform. Yeah, I got you there. The bottom line is we as creators or manufacturers can push whatever we want. It's not till the consumers actually want it that it gets adopted. That includes 8K, 3D, VR, etc. It's true. But as manufacturers, sometimes, well, I mean, I think that's what 3D was, wasn't it? The push for 3D in this last go-round was manufacturers needing a way to sell more TVs because they were so saturated. 1080 TVs were everywhere. The prices were going down, and they needed another reason to get people to buy TVs. Why buy the latest and greatest TV? Well, because we got something new. Now we got 4K. Next we're going to have 8K. Naturally, we'll have to have 3D again. I feel like AI features can cover up flaws at the moment. I want to use AI. I want AI to help. For instance, now I'll talk about that when it comes out. I have used AI a few times, not visually, but just to get the brain flowing. Well, I've used it visually too, but I mean, and I can see where AI is cool for fixing stuff and covering flaws, and also expanding what I can't do. You know, I have a camera, I have a lens, I could do this, but I can't quite do that. And AI helps you make that leap. I don't want innovation to stop because AI can do it. Because once you make a copy, it's like it's the movie with whatever that movie was with the original Batman guy, where you make a copy and then you make a copy of a copy. You know what happens when you make a copy. I like pizza, Steve. But I mean, that's what happens. AI is a copy of original. You have origination content, and then AI is making a copy of it, basically. But if you don't innovate here at the origination point, and you only elevate here, then you're making a copy of a copy. And so you move further from reality. That's Scott's 2 bits. It's never too soon to be on the ground floor of the coming AI backlash. Patrick, it's been 2 decades since the universities have experimented with telepresence. Oh, God, using high-res projectors. Now, hologram, that's where I think it would be cool to get. But I don't know how to do it. Obviously, no one else does either, but I mean, it's at some point, it's going to be able to happen. Fiber optic to tear down a virtual wall between 2 locations. Bring me back those red and blue glass. God, those are horrible. But you know what? They were cool at the time. 4K never actually became real because of us screaming from the rooftops. It wasn't until Netflix discovered they could charge $8 more for 4K that customers actually paid it and were happy. That's a good point. And look at the streaming market today versus the streaming market 5 years ago. I mean, it's massive. Yeah. Danny says, high frame rate exhibition. I got the word right this time. I was one of the 2 guys who went to see Douglas Trumbull's show scan theater in Dallas. Do you have an... I don't even know what that is. What is that? AEBLE. I don't even know what that. I don't know why there's an I in front of it. What is? Oh, well, that looks delicious. Oh, hello. What is these apple slices? Oh my God. Well, I'm just going to write this down because that looks delicious. I don't have one, and I won't have the monochrome at the time. Hold on, I got to get the. I got to add this to my raw cuts repository. Okay, raw cuts to do. That's cool. I've never heard of that, but I definitely want to try that. That looks delicious. They look like donut holes with apple and spices. Multiplicity, thank you, Frank. Yeah, great movie. Great movie. It's so simple and funny and simple. That's the best part. AI often gave us erroneous answers as available on the internet. Yes, it's true. But in my case, erroneous answers is exactly what I was looking for. Edixon says, I agree with you 100% about AI replacing origination, but at the same time, it's hard not to see it like you would still use a typewriter when you could print 1,000 copies of something. How would I analogize that? I don't know how I'd analogize that. I don't think they're exactly the same level, though. I think it's crazy because AI can speed up the creative process. It is, and it can. What I also think is crazy is that, remember that company that had a $50,000 budget now can do anamorphics? How long until they can pay $29.95 for an online AI generated 30-second video or 15-second video clip to go on their Instagram and get all of the things that we could charge $50,000 for? That's not far away, which means that there's an entire market that's about to disappear. That sucks. Beyond says, I love AI tools such as ChatGPT and Stable Diffusion, but when AI is being built in features in smartphones, cameras, it's trendy. Well, and there are AI things that AI in post I love. Using AI. That's what the Magic Mask is using, the AI features to extract out rotoscoping, basically. That stuff is really cool because that is literally a tedious process that, I mean, it's sad because there's a lot of rotoscopers who are eventually going to go out of work on that. But that is such a tedious process. Yeah. Croissant. I've been loving the 8K on the V-RAPTOR. I'm curious to see if DSMC3 will only have 3 tiers, Komodo, V-RAPTOR, and XL, or if more models are coming in, maybe a 6K VistaVision. What else could they make? Well, I could imagine quite a bit. I don't know. What I do know is Red ain't done. Red's just warming up. As always, Red's just kind of like, if you guys only knew. I mean, literally, I would love to know, but there's no way they're sitting back. There's no way. Not possible. Greg says, too right. Hey, Jared. Oh, I do want to mention this, since Greg is there and reminding me. Always something there to remind me. Lens cuff. So we did talk about it last week, and Gregory is on here. And if anybody has any questions about the lens cuff, let me know. I'm definitely more than happy to continue to talk about it, but I do want to state a prime example. Sorry, I'm just feeling all kinds of weird today with my headache. So we were using a robot on a volume screen, and we were using Cook S7s, and one of the problems that we were having was every time we'd swap a lens, you'd have to remap the lens motors on there. You'd have to find the ends, and almost always, no matter what, the torque on the fizz motors were so great that when it hits the hard stop, it would pop off if you didn't catch it just right. And I mean, we struggled with it many, many times. It slowed us down. Whereas if we'd have had the lens cuff on there, and I assure you, Greg, we were laughing that I was so dumb to not bring these with me, because we would have instantly put them on there and used them. This would have solved that problem on the robot. This put the lens cuff on the Cook, put the focus motor on here, and crank it down. It wouldn't have popped off. It was crying for it. And yet, when was this? Wednesday? Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday was when we were there. My day was shot anyway, so I probably would have grabbed it had my day not been shot at the beginning. But anybody, there is a special going on for these, and I'm not going to publish the coupon code down here, but there is a very deep discount. If you'll message me, I will get you the discount code, and you can get a lot off of. Think of the flash sale that we had. It's like that, but very limited time. So if you were on the fence last week and you missed the flash sale, message me, and I'll get you the special. It's a special coupon code for us here. And no, I don't make any commission. In fact, it was offered both to the Red Komodo group and me, and we all declined it because we wanted to see Greg's invention get out there, because it's really cool. So I don't make anything on it. It's not an affiliate coupon. I don't make anything on it, but he does get to track where the code came from. So message me on any kind of message. You can email me, films@imaginationx.com, and I'll get you that code. AI is Google search with a human interaction. Human interaction. I'm not going to trust AI search until AI search has no restrictions. And I mean it. No restrictions. Yeah, it can be used for really stupid things. And, maybe that somehow can be dealt with differently. And I don't know what that is. I don't want to get into that. But I don't want restrictions. I don't want people who are pro cherries, the fruit. Because some people just don't like cherries. Me. Pro cherry. I don't want a pro cherry search engine. When I type in, what is the best pie to make that is savory and spicy, et cetera, et cetera. Well, an apple pie would be far better than a cherry pie in that case. But a pro cherry AI search engine is going to push cherry. And I ain't for cherries. I think people don't know how great a future would be until they are given it sometimes, like with HDR in phones. This is true. They're just noting the dog moved and then yawned. Well, since today is messed up, he may not do it as a high likelihood, because we did not get out here until after lunch, and it was a messed up day. But typically around 6 o'clock, he gets up and walks out. So expect that. Retract it. Let's see. How many windows do you have open in your browser? I think I have close to 70. Windows or tabs? Because I'm a tab guy. With the latest iPad OS, they've destroyed memory utilization in it. I don't know what they've done, but it's really bad, because I used to be able to have bazillions of windows or tabs open. But I can tell you I have 3 windows, and I think it will tell me how. Well, I have my social media. I have 3 windows. I have a business window, I have a news window, and I have a social media window. The social media window is my catch-all. It's where I surf everything. There's 69 tabs open, literally, in my social media one alone. My news one was, there are 55 other tabs in the news one. And on my business one, it won't tell me. Fine. I didn't want to know anyway. But there you go. I love being able to get styles of art. I don't much know. That is definitely a good use. I like the AI for stimulating the brain. I do wish it was better at interpreting, but I guess it is getting better. But by definition, wouldn't AI be like crowdsourcing on steroids? I don't know. If AI script writing and voice synthesis on YouTube videos claiming to offer Ukraine war coverage are any indication, the technology must scale exponentially before we all turn them on. Sorry, I just inhaled smoke. Sorry. I'm a good prop smoker. I never touches my lungs. Never. As you can tell, when it does, the effect. I've been burning props for 25 years now. Yeah, 25 years. And I do not. I always wear hearing protection. I always wear eye protection, and I never inhale. Let's see here. I need to. There we go. Woo, okay. Oh yes, the moon scandal with the new phone is just a copyright scandal after all. Yeah, the moon scandal just keeps bugging me. I love it. Best quote ever. Jared on the comment of, is Red thinking of doing anything else with DSMC3? Oh, we're not sitting back. I believe it. I believe it. If you could see Jared's office, then you would understand the bazillion things that they are doing at any given time. Some of it just Jared, some of it Red, some of it Jared and Matt. Well, probably Matt's probably involved in a lot of it, but I mean, it's everywhere, and there's no way they're sitting back. It's funny. What was so you sparked something, Danny, and a rename of we'll get to the fabric here in just a second. After all, polyester was the hot fabric back in the era of leisure suits. Then we all went back to cotton. It's true. Do you remember back in the 70s? I forget what the name of the fabric was, but it was a fabric that they said anyone that has this fabric should immediately get rid of it, because it could burst into flames at any given moment. And it was in everybody's pajamas and everything. I remember it as a kid. But that fabric still exists today. It's just got a whole new name. And with the whole new name, it is now like the most popular fabric on the planet. And that fabric is called spandex. Yeah, Craig representing Cook. He was there at the shoot this week, and he was so kind as to bring out the Cook S7s. And yeah, he agrees. The lens cuff would have saved us some time. And Greg, it was a blast, dude. I had so much fun. Need to get some of those lens cuffs. They seem ideal for gimbal work. Gimbal work is another thing. Nick, message me, and we'll get you hooked up with a heck of a deal. Like Greg says, message, will do. Lemon pie. Now, lemon pie is good. Lemon pie is good, Greg. I'll give you that, but not cherry pie. She's my cherry pie. To be fair, Google search can also be confidently wrong if you don't check the results. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I don't trust any search engine. I use it with the lack of trust. So I know everything gets a grain of salt, always. I mean, I don't trust anything. And now visually, I'm not trusting anything because I've seen, literally over the last month or so, I've seen, well, no, I think going back to, who said it? It won't scroll, stop. Who said it on the Ukraine stuff? Yeah, we're being fooled all the time now, and people are buying it. And I've seen so many people who should know better, who should be able to detect that it's. I mean, they're at the point now where they're getting Joe Biden to say anything, even though Joe Biden would probably say anything. But they're getting anybody to say anything in a video, and then they purposely make the video horrible resolution so that it is buyable by people, and people are buying it. People are seeing this stuff and going, "Oh, that's true." It's not. Your big indicator right now is watch the lips. You'll see anytime it's an AI, the lips are not moving. Like good luck trying to AI me because I'm so animated with my voice. But you see, kind of like, they get the expressions right, but the mouth is just talking like this, and it doesn't quite look right. And then they use the low resolution to shield it. Well, Google search has its own AI, yes, and it's not that good. Bard, I played with Bard. Bing was just as bad. Greg says, I try to keep it tidy with the numbers of windows, but the tabs go through the roof. My cap is when the icons on each tab disappear. My problem is when I go back to a tab and like Facebook comes up, and I never use apps. I try never to. I use them on my phone only, but I'm using desktop of everything, which is why I love the iPad Pro. So good. It's the only reason that the iPad Pro is able to supplant a laptop for me, is because I can use desktop everything in browsing. But yeah, when I go back to Facebook and there's like one profile picture and like some gibberish down here and everything else is kind of black and I'm like scrolling and moving. I mean, literally the version, what is this? iOS, iPad OS, where are we at? We're 16, or 16 point, oh, there's an update. Guess I need an update. It fixes Safari tab. No, I'm just kidding. iOS 16. When they went to iOS 16, it broke memory usage and such. Yeah, I don't like it. I watched a video edited on AI on YouTube. AI illustrated Odessa, Texas, with stock footage of Odessa, Ukraine seaport. Interesting. I'm talking too much. My prop is not properly being destroyed. But also, let's see. Remember, NAB, I'll be there Saturday, and I'll be leaving Wednesday afternoon. But anybody that's going to be there, please, you can message me and say, where are you? And I'll tell you where I am at the time. I'll be running around, but please come up and say hello. Please. I mean, just like Beyond Nick. Beyond Nick found me at Cine Gear, and it was an awesome pleasure to see Beyond Nick. And then there was a second time. But it's fun. It's fun to meet people. Love it. Greg says, exactly, Danny. The results can be funny when you spot them, but can cause a whole lot of issues if you submit your homework based on that. This is true. This is true. And it says, Scott, what camera, if any, are you planning to get next? Excited about NAB. Yeah, V-RAPTOR Super 35 is my next camera to buy. It's most likely my next camera. If it is not the next camera, then the next camera would be a stills camera that can replace a couple of these Sony cameras. That would be what I would go to next. It might be like an R5 Mark II or something like that. Somewhere in that area, that might be the next camera, but the next purpose camera for shooting is V-RAPTOR Super 35. And then I can kind of see, honestly, slotting in a Komodo after or a monochrome Komodo after that. It is so much fun. What are your general predictions for NAB? My wallet is deciding between spending on the flight for Las Vegas and using my money to buy gear on day one. Well, they do allow you to buy now at NAB, but most of that stuff is probably not going to be available yet. I don't know. It depends on what you're looking for, croissant. Croissant. I think croissant is the incorrect way to say it, if I remember correctly. I think it's one of those, like when people go New Orleans, and they go, that's not how we say it. Yeah, I don't know. Depends on what you're looking for. I think we're going to see some cool lenses. I think we're going to see a few cool cameras. I think we're going to see some more cool lenses and more cool cameras. Well, probably won't see more cool lenses, but probably more of the same lenses at Cine Gear. I think we'll see some cool cameras at Cine Gear. I don't know. To me, NAB to me is so much networking. It's and I was just chatting with this with some buds. That's funny. So I mean, it's all about networking. It's meeting with people. And it's funny that what we were talking about was that you're not likely to network with people who are going to hire you. That's true. You might. There is some cross networking that happens that way. But what you gain is you gain the networking for when someone else sees a job listed that they refer you over, or they because that networking allows them to put a face, a physical person to the online personality, and it allows you to get more jobs. Because I've definitely gotten a lot of jobs through networking in NAB. Maybe not directly hired, but sometimes, yeah. Let's see here. Jared, what product of yours do you wish you could have experienced fresh like us? Oh, that's an interesting question. So yeah, Jared, what product did Red create that you would have enjoyed as a consumer, not knowing anything about it, and it just being presented, and you having to go and see it for the first time? That's an interesting. That's a fun question for you, Jared. Danny says, of course, Europeans will stick with AI long after it's exposed as bad parody, same as the Germans obsessed with electronic techno music. I kind of like I like some electronic techno music. Meanwhile, while real artists prefer real acoustic instruments. That I agree with you. That's where I was saying, I think, and maybe it's a pipe dream, maybe it's just a wish, but I think before it's said and done, we will have an international agreement. It can't be a law because there won't be an international law, but I think the U.S., I think the EU, I think Britain, all of these places are going to have a AI ingredients list. So when you create something, you must specify what percentage is AI or not. I think we're going to end up there. Maybe it's 10 years. Who knows? It's going to be at the point where people are so bored with AI generating a movie of the week, like literally, you know it's going to happen at some point, and it may be just 10 years. It may only be that you're like, I'm bored. What do you want to watch? I don't know. I want to see a comedy I've never seen. And you drop down. I want to see a comedy. I want to see it about dogs. I want to see it take place in Germany. And I want to see it take place in 1942. And I want the behavior, the comedy to be like Seinfeld. And I want it to be in HDR. And you're just going to check all these boxes, and it's going to instantly generate a show for you to watch. We will get there. And I think that's the point where people are going to crave, Danny, the acoustic instruments. People are going to crave the hopefully, the Scott Balkums of the world with his camera and what he captures, not what AI generated. Because, you know, there's a reason they sign A-list actors to movies. There's a reason they get big name producers and big name directors and big name DPs. There's a reason. It's because people automatically who like what that person has done, they automatically have an inherent like to what could be coming out. We'll set Steven Spielberg's Indiana Jones thing aside and not tarnish Spielberg's record with that, but just people are going to crave what people do. That's my opinion. But I kind of like techno music. I don't like techno music. I don't like the endless, don't like that. But I do like, I like music that is structured. It builds. Every song I've ever written has been structured and built. I literally will build like the most complex part of the song and then work it backwards and take off parts as I go. So it kind of builds up as it goes. That's to me techno. Would you go V-RAPTOR Super 35 or V-RAPTOR Super 35 XL? It's definitely V-RAPTOR Super 35 for me because I am a small shooter. I like small. I mean, if I was doing big stuff, then XL would absolutely check all the boxes because it's done. It's everything you need in a box. But I work tiny. And V-RAPTOR is so dang perfect and tiny. Definitely love the V-RAPTOR. Okay, let's see here. Woo, boy, there's all these questions. Okay. Is spandex in use today in those awful leggings? Yes, spandex is used. Spandex is the awful leggings. Hey, Handmade with Hearts, just popping in to say hi. Is Rex okay? Rex is wonderful. Rex, you okay, buddy? You okay? Handmade with Hearts wants to know. Let's put Rex on the big screen. As soon as I learn how to do it. What do you think? You want to say hi? You want to say hi? What do you think? Oh, he's like, you're going to make me get up, Dad? There's Rexy. There's my buddy. How you doing, bud? You say hi right there, right there. And you get an out-of-focus shot of my dog's chest. There you go, bud. What's up? You go back to the, because his head pops up over the desk. What you think, buddy? You good boy? You pup? Yeah, you good boy. We'll go back to that. Watch this. Give me 5. Give me 5, bud. Give me 5. Come on. Oh, you can't see my hand. Give me 5. You don't want to? No, okay. He's losing his footing. All right, lay down, bud. He says hi. He says hi to Astrid, too. He yawned. Do you think the masses would care if it was AI or not? If they enjoy it, though? I think there is I think there's a point of diminishing returns. I think there's a point when people will stop caring because it'll be boring. So yes, I do. I think there will always be people that will like it, but I don't think it'll be. It's like artwork. People spend their lives, maybe they want this one painting from this one person, and they want it because it's from that one person. It's not a copy of it. They want the original. They want the. He's going back. Look at that. Now you can stare at Rex's rear end. No, I do think they're going to care. I really do. Saint says, I'm guessing Blackmagic Design, Canon, and 2 other camera companies will be showcasing new cameras at NAB. Yes, I believe Blackmagic and I believe Canon. 2 other camera companies. What other 2 do you think? I cannot think of anybody that's going to be showcasing new cameras there. Or I can't think of anybody that would be. Well, Sony. Yeah, Sony would. I hope. Really hope. No needs for a live chat GPT in groups. You're still better. Thank you. I'm a person. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I would say most of you, I don't know. Am I dropping frames? Nah, we're still fine. We're still doing pretty good. I mean, I would say most of y'all probably hang out on these live streams because I'm just a big goof who gets up here and talks. And is AI going to give you this level of quality? Look at Rex's rear end there. I mean, you can't make that up. AI couldn't go, let's make the dog backwards. Ow. Ooh, that's a hot end there. Edison says, I mean, think about it. So many advances in tech and what has been booking lately? Nostalgia Super 8. Yeah. I think AI retro is probably cool. If AI could take an 8K V-RAPTOR image and apply an AI-based film and retro look and turn it into an 8mm, but capture everything that an 8mm could do using the V-RAPTOR, and not just, I mean, I know we have it now, but I mean, really embrace it. I think that'd be awesome. Danny says, AI ingredients. Yeah, like audio sampling ripped off in rap. Oh boy, that was a cool one. I was reading about P. Diddy. He had that song, Every Breath You Take, or he sampled the Police's Every Breath You Take for his song, Every Breath You Take. And he didn't ask for permission for it until after he released the song, to which he asked Sting for permission and lost, of course, because he completely ripped it off. And so what the royalties, Sting gets 100% of all royalties from that song forever. And originally it was $2,000 a day is what Sting made from that song. Today, he still gets paid, and it's $5,000 a day is what P. Diddy ends up paying Sting. That's incredible, but awesome, because don't steal other people's stuff, number one. But it's cool that's a lot of money. That's $1.8 million a year in royalties that Sting gets for P. Diddy stealing the sampling. So you kind of went off on something here, Danny, that I'll probably extrapolate on. AI synthesize content the way Taco Bell synthesizes 200 items on a menu for 4 feeder ingredients. That's correct. Taco Bell has so many different things. By all you do is you place the meat on top of the cheese or the cheese on top of the meat. Maybe you add lettuce in there. Let's wrap the whole thing in a tortilla. No, let's take the tortilla off and call it a naked taco. That's Taco Bell. Now, where I also am a little bit afraid of AI is if AI can work to synthesize flavors to put into fake things. For instance, let's say, it's good for some, not for others. Let's say you're vegan, but you weren't always vegan and you do love the taste of a steak, but you don't agree with it. Cool. To each their own. If AI can synthesize the steak, or can create something that makes a steak out of vegan ingredients, so much to the point where it tastes identical, its texture is identical, everything about it is identical. For vegans, that could be wonderful. For people who like a steak, I like a steak. I don't care if I don't want something artificial. I want something real. And so if someone passes it off as real, that's where I have a problem with AI as well, which is why I say ingredients list. I think we're going to get there where somebody's going to do that. It's kind of like when you go into a restaurant and you say, I'd love a Diet Coke, please, and they bring out Diet Pepsi. And you're like, I honestly don't care anymore. I used to care a lot. Now I drink, well, I'm drinking Diet Coke now, but I mean, I was drinking cheap stuff, cheap diet colas forever because I just stopped caring. My money is better spent elsewhere. I think we may get to the point where we are currently at with the film and digital debate. These conflicts will always be around with humans, purists versus progressionists. So I don't think digital acquisition changes acquisition. It changes the method, which is a purist. And it's interesting. I love film. I really do. I think digital was fantastic in that it brought everything to the masses so much easier than film could. Film was, I mean, there's a process with it. But I also remember literally going to Fox Photo. Now this is 35 millimeter stills, but going to Fox Photo like twice a week and dropping off several rolls. It was constantly. Fox Photo, if y'all don't know, is a tiny little 4x4 foot building that you would drive up to. I just want to see what this is because this was interesting. Okay, I thought Sony was about to drop a new camera because it was a Sony email that says things to look out for this week. I'm like, what? Yeah, I don't know that AI and human acquisition is the same as film versus digital. Those are tools using human acquisition. AI is not human, I think is the difference there. Hallmark rom-coms are cheaper to produce. I mean, you're right, and they're hilarious to watch. My mom loves them. She just eats them up. She's streaming continuously with the AI rom-coms, the Hallmark channel. And it's so funny that someone had posted a screenshot of every Hallmark rom-com in the last year, and they all had the same color, they all had the same look, they all had the same everything. It was kind of funny. But yes, it's cheaper. But there is a market for that, as there will be a market for AI. But I don't think AI Hallmark rom-coms are going to be. I don't know. They might be. I'll tell you where it would be though, Patrick. I think AI will completely revolutionize. Probably less of a problem in the future. But if you go to a store and they have the video wall up, or they're playing cool music, all of that they have to license. AI could generate music in the background that a restaurant could have playing, and you'd probably never care. I mean, you literally don't go to eat Mexican food because they play your favorite song overhead on the loudspeaker. It's ambiance. you go there for the food, the Taco Bell taco. No, you go there for the food, and it's ambiance. It's enhancing your experience, which I think AI-generated video walls or AI-generated advertisement on billboards, AI-generated music for people who don't want to listen to a song. They just want to hear music in the background, which I can kind of see there. I think that's where it will do. Danny says, Scott, great to catch your live stream here in Texas. We are almost in a vacuum of opportunities and are few to interact with anyone involved in production. It's true, but I'll tell you what, Danny, I've done more work in Dallas in the last few years than I've done in Austin. It's wild. Dallas is got lots of things going on. Rich says, to vintage lens or not, if you like it, you like it. So absolutely you should. Beyond says, great chatting with you. Need to shoot. Go shoot. See you, Nick. I'll be missing you. That's the one. Diddy has to pay $5,000 a day. It's such a wild thing. Jared's answering the question. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So the original prototype red laser projector is probably the item that Jared would have personally liked to have consumed or seen as a consumer rather than what it was put together. Interesting. Crazy how film was to shoot because of all the prep needed and not waste shots or go over. Back to budgeting, a person can be a one-man band with AI, have a script written, shot, etc. The little guy or the little person is going to benefit from AI the most. The small business, the small company, the small product, the startups, they're going to do the most. Then he says, Jared is completely correct about all this technology. That the market drives all of it. The technology of printing presses is awesome. And we can all talk about AI, but the business model is the real question. Yeah, it's fair. I think the real power will be when AI meets smart contract blockchains. AI will then be like the paint that hits the canvas. I don't know, it's a little deep. It's a little deep, Edison. I'd have to process that. I have to think about that. Kevin says, I'm currently beta testing that AI Wonder Studio from Wonder. Oh yeah, how is that? I've seen some stuff that was posted. Someone posted a it was Dexter Morgan playing a song as a DJ on turntables. And he was kind of mixing it live as a video. It was horrible. I mean, it was cool, the concept. It was a horrible implementation because AI is at its infancy on that. But it was kind of funny how he'd sit there, he'd be scratching on a turntable, and then the turntable would turn, or the turntable would turn to 2-inch reel of he's mixing on the 24 track. I had Bard to write an intro for my website and to give itself credit. Should everyone credit AI? I mean, that's what I'm reading in the writers agreement that they're working on. I think that they're striking on is that they're going to allow AI to be used as long as the writer gets the credit. So now it comes to a point where, let's say you get a Stephen King to you hire him to write you a premise, a book, and he goes and has AI write it and then hands it off. Is there a problem there? Because Stephen King gets the credit for it. You didn't know it was AI. Maybe it's not his best work. Maybe it is his best work. What do you, as a production company, what do you, as a consumer, what are you to think about that? Patrick says, your restaurant example makes me think that singularity will append in the mind before the body with AI. Not many people saw that, and every prototype after the first was progressively worse. James Cameron came by to see the first one. We had him play Avatar, and his words were, "This is the way Avatar was supposed to look in my mind." That's interesting. There was a red ray on eBay. It's $3.99. That cracked me up, seeing that one the other day. And I see Red Ray support is still in Cine, Red City X. Where was it? 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 Did the name get changed to protect the innocent? Oh, there it is. Let's see here. Clear that, and then there we go. Otterness. Jared wants to know, how is Wonder Studio? It excites me. I just started testing this week, and it's pretty damn cool and exciting where this industry is going. Interesting. Ross from Friends told us about AI 25 years ago. I find it so interesting. There's now a whole push of Friends is not funny anymore. To the generation, the current generation, they don't find Friends funny. They think Seinfeld is offensive. We're getting too obsessed. This is a Scott opinion, so if you don't want to hear it, don't listen to it. I think we as humans are getting too obsessed in finding fault with anything. And I think, I've mentioned it many times. I don't think I've ever stated it quite that easy, but it's far easier to take a bulldozer and drive through a building than it is to build a building. And so it's naturally way easier for humans to tear stuff apart and complain about stuff and not offer suggestions. And I'm guilty of it completely. It's very easy to go, well, I don't like that, because it's easy to say the things you don't like, but it's hard to make the things that you do like. So let's put AI in that example, where it's so easy now to say that Friends isn't funny. So now AI makes you a funny version of Friends. That's okay for your particular generation. That is the making a copy of a copy, coming all the way back around again. I don't see that as a positive. If Americans are getting too soft, imagine Canadians. It's not. I don't mean it offensively to anyone. That's not my intent. I am my own person. I think my own way. I think it's just everyone gets excited. People, you know how when you create something awesome and you're really proud of it, you just feel good about what you just did. Whether you created the lens cuff, contact me for a special deal. Whether you, seriously, I want more people to try the lens cuff, because I think they're missing what it's for. That's why I'm bringing it up periodically. I literally am not making anything on it. I think it's cool. I have used it, and I have now run into several times where it would have been useful. Anyway, completely lost my track of the feeling. So Greg is an example. Greg comes up with this, and he works on it, and it's finally at a point where he's excited about it and he wants other people to see it. That feeling, you created something, you did something. That is a great feeling. I feel like people who point out the negatives are you still get that feeling from that. And it's very easy to do. It's very easy to say, wow, Scott, I like that you put the comments down here, but using that color of yellow, I just, I don't like that. Granted, it's taken me forever to figure out who's done the best way to do this and for me to get this working and for it to not drop frames, which we're doing very well today. Thank you, Elon. I think there's too much reward in our brains for thinking a negative idea is an idea. I'm not saying people shouldn't have negative comments, negative thoughts, and negative anything. I just think it is, what is it, the serotonin or whatever, the burst of excitement that we get inside. Negative comments are very easy, and they give you a little boost. Sorry, got the hiccups. And I think it's that is the problem. We need to embrace how much better it is, what a better feeling it is to create rather than to destroy. Kind of like, now this is probably not even allowed to say today, like tickling someone. When you tickle someone and they burst out laughing, it's an acceptable, you're allowed to tickle this person. When you tickle someone, they get a burst of energy, of excitement and joy from the laughing. The person tickling gets a burst of excitement and joy in their brains from being the tickler. That's creation. It's creation and consumption of positive as opposed to negative. All right, I'll get off my soapbox. Shows from the past should not be edited for today's sensitivities. I agree with that. They are ultimately historical records in a way. You can't erase history. Don't say you can't, because they clearly can, Ollie, but they absolutely should not. Period. Doesn't mean we need to celebrate it. There's tarnished marks all over humans, all over the world, all over time. And we shouldn't celebrate the bad things, but we should see it. We should recognize it and know that we shouldn't consume it continuously, but we should recognize it as there, because those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. Kevin says, I'm going to send you a couple of video clips to your IG. Oh, he's going to love that. Elvis was censored, but now his dance moves his dance moves are tame by today. Imagine hearing about a school shooting in the 50s. I edit, although yes, and I don't want to dive off into that very horrible side of it. But I think the instant nature of everybody being connected by this is what changes that happening. There have been that kind of event goes back 1700s, unfortunately. Nowhere near the level, but on the flip side, what if this and the instant of everything is what's contributing? And I'm not saying get rid of it. I don't have an answer for that. It's a question of what if. It's kind of a negative question. I'm getting the serotonin's going, but what if the instant everything is contributing to the uprise in the quantity? Or what if the quantity is actually the same and we just never heard about it? I don't know. Social norms definitely evolve, for sure. My bywords are productive and constructive. Good bywords. Perpetual conflict and deconstruction don't go very far on any resume in my old school worldview. I don't think, Danny, I don't think that is an old school worldview. I think that is a human evolutionary base. None of us as humans got to where we are today by people being more destructive than constructive. None of us are here today because of that. Yes, destruction has done a ton, but it's our construction, our ability to think, our ability to push forward. That's what gets us here. And so your bywords are extremely, I completely agree with you there, but are also probably the most human bywords ever. I mean, that's what it should be. You should be productive. Back in the olden days, productive meant you had to go find food for your family to eat. And constructive means you had to build something to house your family. That was living back then. Today, living is a little easier, but productive and constructive are still there. I don't consider it an old school worldview at all. I consider it a core value, a core of humans. Patrick says, as a French Canadian, I have the right to say the previous message was just a joke. I understood what you were saying. I get it. Ex-Canadian here, Patrick. Totally get the joke. Let's see here. They still have the rushes for Friends as they did with the re-edit with the new HD transfers. Don't give them it. Believe me, someone's already thought about it. For what? I try to avoid using the terminology because no matter what, it's a positive and a negative statement to depending on who you're talking to and all of that blah blah blah. Anybody that follows me on social media knows that I usually, whenever I say stuff like this, I usually put at the bottom, be human. Because really, that's all I want people to do is to recognize that we're all humans on this planet. Let's figure out and let's talk about what we have in common rather than what the single thing that took almost no effort for a negative opinion. Let's not clash on the single negative. Let's mesh on everything else. You know, if I hate cherries, but I love pie, and you love pie, but you love cherry pie, let's not talk about cherry pie. Let's talk about pie. Let's talk about how delicious pie is. I need to make a pie now. Honestly, one of the best pies on the planet. Total side note. What's his name? Oh, God. See? I'm a horrible person for not remembering names. Alton Brown. His apple pie recipe is by far the best apple pie recipe ever. I don't know how I could improve on it, honestly. First of all, if I'm nowhere near as skilled as he is, not even close. Also, I think he hits everything core. If y'all have never seen, go find the Good Eats episode of his apple pie. We have made that apple pie here so many times. My daughter makes that apple pie perfectly. It is so good. We all love pie. Everyone should love pie. What's wrong with pie? Pie is wonderful. Am I not dropping frames? Cool. Wow, I caught up to all the comments. Woohoo! And thanks to all of y'all, I don't even feel my headache anymore. I kind of had a feeling that that the live stream would probably help me get through my headache. It was a doozy. Ollie says you could supersize your fries at McDonald's in the USA, but your apple pies are baked. What gives? Ours are still fried here. Yeah. I don't know. Those are pretty good, aren't they? It's hard. I wish they weren't so small now. I grew up when the apple pies were freaking huge, and they still burn the roof of your mouth. You take one bite, you're like, try to get all the vowels out you can. Try to cool your mouth down. Yeah, ours are baked. We steam like McDonald's, I think, steams a bunch of food real fast. They pre-make it, and then they steam it to get it prepared. It's weird. I don't know why. But, you know, Ollie, you make a very, very convincing, by not making that, fried apple pie. That is a road I want to venture down. I want to try that. Well, I'm also still working on pretzels. So someone will appreciate that. I've been working. I'm not happy with them. I want them better. And when I do, the pretzels will be out. King says, I'm going to AI a plot where creepy in a Balenciaga fur coat dominates John Wick. Well, let's just say, King, you will like the FX30 review. He doesn't quite dominate, though. But creepy has 2 cameos coming up: FX30 and Monochrome. It's the cinnamon and nutmeg that does it. Yes, but Alton does one additional thing. There's an alcohol called Applejack. It is an apple whiskey, and it's spiced, and he puts some of it in there. And I don't know what about it takes it to the next level, but it takes it to the next level, so much so that, like I said, there's nothing I would do to make it taste better. It tastes so good. Try it if you're a apple pie fiend. And it says, I had an awesome apple pie years ago in Connecticut, 1/4-inch thick crust, and I've been hunting for that dang pie for years. I agree. There was an apple. My favorite apple pie was made by a couple, Bob and Linda. I think it was Bob and Linda's Pies. It was in Katy, Texas. And they were this little pie shop in downtown Katy. I think it was that. And you could order your pies, and they would just make pies all day long. And their apple pie was incredible. And they had the giant apple pie. They were 14-inch diameter, thick apple pie. And they had this deal where you buy the plate, and then you just exchange the plate. You make your pie, you exchange your plate, and you would get a pie that I think it was like 14 or 16 bucks for the pie. This was back in the 90s. But it was unbelievable. And then Alton Brown had his pie, and it was next level. Gotta love pies. Clear. Okay, let's see. There we go. Danny says, I fear for the future, the immediate future. My 85-year-old mother has decided to cook dinner tonight. Unfortunately, there is no nostalgia or sentiment about mom's cooking. Gotta go. Thanks all. Danny. Wow. Well, how about just being around mom? I actually enjoy my mom's cooking. Some of it. I've improved some of it. She's probably listening. Danny, good to have you drop by. Hello, Luca. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. Patrick says, the chat here doesn't know, but we're training a Chat GPT 6. Probably goes with the internet doesn't exist conspiracy. That would be funny. That would be funny and not funny at the exact same time. And then one day you'll see me up here going, and the resolution will be bad, and the frames will be dropped, and people will be like, Is that AI or is that Scott? I don't know. I can't tell. It's funny. Okay, who's got some last things they'd like to chit chat about? Again, Lens Cuff, message me, seriously. Email, IM, text, phone call, all the above. Big discount. Anybody wants to get their hands on the Lens Cuff? Who's got some last things to do? Because I've got chicken fajitas to eat tonight. Fajitas. That's our running joke, fajitas. Lucas says, doing great. Just got back from a shoot. 1:45 a.m. here in Italy. Wow. Am I going to have a live from NAB? I don't think I will, for one reason, Luca. I have tried it numerous times, and I have never successfully gotten a good live out of there. There's so many people, and there's not enough bandwidth. There's not enough cell phone coverage, not enough Wi-Fi. Yeah, I don't know. I doubt I will be putting anything out while at NAB because, quite honestly, I'll be wanting to absorb all of my friends, all of the people I want to see, all of everything. But Tim Doust, who may or may not be out there in the chat, he's my buddy for the NAB trip, and he has offered to film me going around NAB. So there's going to be some third-party acquisition of me walking around NAB rather than me vlog style it. So that'll be cool. Plus we'll be can't see it back there, but I'll be filming all of everything with monochrome Komodo, chrome, which will be fun. You're right. Better to enjoy, friends, for sure. But if anybody is at NAB and wants to destroy a prop one evening, and I don't know which one, it will be off the cuff because it'll be whenever I have time to slot it in, at Caesar's forum shops at Casa Fuente. We will be doing a prop meetup, and it's you don't have to enjoy the prop, but it's a great place. They have the best tangerine mojitos. I mean, they're incredible, and I will most certainly be there one evening for that. But so yeah, what anybody got anything last to say that they want to get in there? Anything? Anybody? I appreciate each and every one of you. I may live stream next Friday. I may not. If I don't, just know it's because I'm completely stressed about packing. If I do, know that it's because I'm completely stressed about packing and need to take a break. But yeah, I appreciate all of you, every single one of you. You're all wonderful humans contributing to the positive side of the human adventure. And yeah, Rex didn't get up. He didn't get up. Yeah, happy Easter to Easter folks. Yes, happy Easter. I will be having all of my family here tomorrow night. Excited. I can show one. Hold on. Let me put this one photo up. This one's good. My grandson has found a new enjoyment, and that's my hat. And where is the photo? I'm going to have to get him his own hat. I was going to share it. Maybe I won't be sharing it. Well, fine. Maybe she texted it to me. Where's my hat pick? Oh, she put it on here, didn't she? I bet she did. Sorry. I just find it funny. Apparently I can't find it funny, and I can't even find it. That'll show me. Anyway, so yeah. Let's see, make sure there's no. Yep. Everyone have a wonderful, fantastic weekend, and remember to subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your friends about us. And yeah, as always, as I like to leave it, don't let your passions center around your life. Let your life center around your passions. He's really messed up. The whole day I ruined his day. Have a great weekend. Hugs, Luca.